Hello, everybody. I'm Munchiezzz, and welcome back to Munchiezzz Plays. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I'm going to go over the new rules and how to play a new challenge I came up with today, called the Holy Crop-ola Challenge. The goal of the challenge is to seed or plant and harvest all the crops on the list on the PDF map menu in the order they appear on the list. So, for example, wheat first, then barley, canola, oat, corn, etc. First, we're going to go over the setup of the gameplay. But in this how to play the Holy Crop-ola Challenge, I'm going to go over the gameplay setup, settings, buying your first field and buying future fields, buying equipment, mods, and finally the goals to complete the challenge. So this one's going to be fun. It's different than anything else I've seen out there, so it should be interesting. First off, we're going to pick career. We're going to choose a new save slot. And brings us to the save game options. The maps, I'm making it player's choice. I'm going to say keep in mind with this challenge, some maps have fields that are cheaper but have less fields to choose from. And some maps have more fields but may be more expensive. So choose wisely with your map. For this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the Frankenmuth map strictly for this. Starting money. Now with the starting money is the player's choice, but whatever starting money you choose will determine your starting debt. So as you can see here, if you choose $500,000 for starting money, your starting debt is going to be $250,000. If you choose to start with $750,000, your starting debt is going to be $500,000. And if you choose to start with $1 million, your starting debt is going to be $750,000. So you get to choose your fate on that. That's going to make it quite interesting. Now we're going to start from scratch. Me personally, I'm going to start out with $1 million and a starting debt of $750,000. I'm choosing to play on normal with this challenge. That's probably the best way to go. If you want to go the extra mile and try it on hard, or you want to try it a little bit easier and go on easy, that's completely up to you. We're not going to do a starting farm or the guided intro. Now when we get to the map, or when you open up your map and go in, we're going to go to the settings menu. And in the settings menu, I'm going 2x speed. Seasonal growth, we're going to turn off. We're doing 1 day a month. Field stones, are off. Lime, you can choose to go on or off. I'm going to say off until I figure out just how difficult this is. However, I am keeping weeds on. I'm going to come out of this menu and I'm going to give it a save. Now, as far as contracts, we're not going to do contracts. No loans and no leasing. And now we'll get into the rules. Okay, now we'll go over the rules. Rule 1. Plant or seed and harvest every crop on the map list in order. So all these crops we're going to harvest in order. So we're going to start with wheat, go to barley, move on to canola, oat, all the way down until we get to alfalfa. Now, purchasing your first field. The field you purchase for your starting field must start with the first crop on the list, which is wheat. So if we go to deselect all and highlight wheat, you can see there's 2 fields that have wheat on them. So I would be able to choose to start with field 22 for $464,000, or I could go cheaper and I can start with field 32 for $87,000, or if I wanted to go all out, I could start with both fields if I wanted to. But you have to start with a field that has wheat on it. Alright, on to rule number 3. Once your current crop type is ready to harvest, you harvest your field or fields and must decide whether to move on to the next crop type on the list, or you can reseed, replant your current crop type. Each crop type can only be reseeded or replanted one time for a total of 2 harvests per crop type. And harvesting your starting field does not count towards finishing a crop on the list. So if I buy field 32 and I harvest this, I still have to replant it with wheat and harvest that before I can move on. Also, with replanting, when I replant and harvest 32, I can choose to either move on to the barley crop, or I can replant wheat, go through one more harvest to maybe save up money, and then move on to barley. Now moving on to number 4. You can purchase additional farm fields, but you can only purchase fields that have the current crop type that you are currently working on, and you must purchase the field before your current crop is in the ready to harvest state. So if I have planted wheat in field 32 and wanted to purchase field 22, I would have to do it before my field was ready to harvest. This isn't so much a rule as it is a tip, number 5, but crops that have multiple outputs can be utilized if chosen. Example, if you harvest grass, you can sell it as is, turn it into hay, or turn it into silage. as well as wheat, barley, and oat. You can collect both the grain and the straw swath. Rule 6. Money made and spent can only come from the crops that you harvest itself. There's no greenhouses, no contracts, no productions, no animals. All your income comes from the crops that you harvest. Number 7 kind of goes along with 6. Make sure you plan ahead so you have the money in the bank to purchase any harvester, header, or equipment you may need in the future for crops down the list. Some of the crops down here in the bottom, such as sugarcane, cotton, peas, they get expensive for those harvesters, so you want to make sure you plan ahead so you have enough money to be able to purchase whatever equipment you may need. Speaking of equipment, all equipment, vehicles, tractors, and harvesters are yours for the remainder of the challenge once purchased and cannot be sold, so choose wisely there as well. That throws a little wrench in things. You can't just buy a tractor or a harvester and then need a new one and trade it in. Makes things a little bit more difficult and makes you have to think a little bit more. I kind of like that. Now we'll move on to mods. To make this challenge fair and competitive for both console and PC players, because I would like both to be involved if they choose to, and we all know it's not fair play for both. PC players kind of have the upper hand on that. So to make it fair, only mods from ModHub are allowed, but no script mods. So, of course, that means we can't use the guaranteed crop prices, no harvest profit, no fertilized once, of course no special offers, and this is probably don't need to be said, but no government subsidies. However, all other tractors, harvesters, headers, and any other equipment is free to use if you choose. That's pretty much all the rules. The goals of this challenge are complete as many crops on the map list in order as you can in the shortest amount of time. Goal number 2, pay off whatever debt you started with. And let's see how far down the list you can make it and how many years does it take you. And last but not least, have fun and farm on. I hope we get some takers to try this challenge. I'm going to be trying it real soon. I think I'm going to give it about another week to see if any more maps decide to pop out on ModHub. But I'm kind of excited to give this a go. Anyone that's doing YouTube and putting videos out on YouTube that decides to take this on, definitely let me know so I can watch them. Maybe give me a tag in your description, and I will definitely watch the videos. And I'm excited for this one, guys. I hope you guys are excited as me. But that's it for now. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I will answer any questions that arise. And let's kick some butt. Let's do this challenge. Thanks for stopping by Munchiezzz Plays. And as always, let's see what kind of madness we can create. Ta-ta, guys.